All right, we're live. Wait for folks to get in here. Those of you hearing this, you're probably watching a VOD. Thank you for that. Thanks for continuing to subscribe and comment and all of that good stuff. We definitely appreciate the comments. Hey, Bill, what's going on? All right. Easy day for you. May get out of work early. Well, that's always nice on a Friday. Hey, Ramby. What's up, John? Oops. Swedish keyboard. What's up, Costanza, Possum? How you guys doing? I'm doing all right. Yeah, I'm trying this 0-calorie Red Bull. Kind of tastes like shit, to be honest with you. May dump it. What's up, Possum? Let's see. Did I already say that? I may have already said that. See you, Justin Beard. Hope you have a good meeting. Zero calorie or sugar free? This is 0 calorie. I've had the sugar free. I hate it. I've now had the 0 sugar, 0 calorie. Also hate it. Disgusting. I might as well just resign myself to the fact that I'm gonna be consuming sugar. I like sugar. Sugar is delicious. Sugar is one of my favorite remaining vices. I don't have many. At the moment, I don't have many vices, unfortunately. I still have sugar in my coffee. Delicious. I may reduce it. I've tried to reduce it in the past, but I keep like flinching. I take 2 sugars in my coffee, preferably. But during the day, I've been trying to like get it down to, you know, my post morning coffees, trying to get them down to like 1 sugar. Cinnamon and milk greater than sugar for coffee. Facts. Yeah, I mean, facts are pretty malleable these days, so if you want to call it a fact, you can call it a fact. It does not sound like... Oops, server coming down. Does not sound like a fact to me. That does not sound good. Jasmine said, cinnamon and milk, you're going to try it? I mean, I have milk in my coffee. I just want sugar and milk in my coffee. Costanza says, just got back from a trip to Amsterdam. How was that? So, not to be argumentative, Dozakar, but we'll try it, but sugar's nice. Possum said, been doing stevia in my coffee. It's not bad, but it's not sugar. Yeah, stevia tastes like stevia. Sugar tastes like sugar. I prefer sugar. And I think one of the problems, though, is that I do drink, like, Monster Energy is a half liter. That's a lot. That is a lot. So maybe I should just keep it with Red Bulls, which are inherently smaller. I mean, how you doing, Wrong Warp? Chaz Solo. I'm just waiting for the server to go down now. Stevia products are cut with other things, so you need to check the ingredients. Still, it's not sugar. Yeah. All this talk about sugar makes me want to dump this Red Bull out and just have a nice, not the full can, not the full half liter, but maybe a nice glass of Monster energy drink in a delicious flavor. Hey, Boric. The only way to solve this is a wizard duel in Night Harbor outside the inn at noon. Well, it's going to be a little while before we solve this then, but we can do it. It's just going to be a little while. Is your stevia cut with baby laxatives, like your nose sugar, your booger sugar? I guess it depends on the quality of your stevia, what part of the world you live in. Hey, Dargus. Yeah, I don't like things that mess with my stomach, right? And that's the other thing. I know how sugar operates. Like, I know what it does. Sugar's a known quantity. Firefly Prophet, hello. Welcome. What's up, Liz Biscuits? Thank you. I appreciate it. Hey, Kegborn. What's up, Ollie? If Flintlock Pixel is out there, can you explain to me why you've followed me like 40 times in the last 2 weeks according to my activity feed? I am genuinely curious. Hey, Kilrain. Yeah, so we're just getting started here today. Server's down. So once the server comes back up, I'll get in and do some work maybe. I've been doing a little bit of work in Fallen Pass, but believe it or not, I'm not going to show it to you. I've thought about it and decided some stuff you just have to discover on your own. So, excuse me. There's some fun stuff in there. You're going to have to level up a bit to be able to see it. Otherwise, it's just going to kill you. And, yeah. For a tiny hopeful minute, I thought you were going to say you'd open the doors. I don't have that power. If I had the power to open the doors, I would misuse it. So, Ollie does not give me that power. And by Ollie does not give me that power, I mean there's probably some sort of programming shit that I'd need to learn that I'm just too lazy to ever learn. So that's how you keep me in line. My own laziness. The easiest way to keep me in check. Put it behind one obstacle. First time catching me live. Have you watched the VODs? Do you know what you're in for? Hey Chinny D, what's going on, buddy? How's your secret thing going? I'm curious. Development server, click. Let's log back in. Gotta have carbs. Potatoes are your weakness. I miss boardwalk fries when they are around. Yeah, I haven't been working out enough is the problem. It's not my diet. I honestly, there's no way I'm consuming enough for it to be a big deal. I just gotta step up my workout game. I've been pretty lazy since the surgery. It's a bullshit excuse. Oh, my shoulder got surgerized. Oh, they cut my finger off. Can't work out. Stupid. I could have been doing squats the whole time. I could have been, I don't know, squatting. Without holding anything because this arm wasn't working. And I guess I could do it with one hand, except if that hand was kind of jacked. Yeah. I just gotta step up my game. Now everything's working pretty good. Rucking. Yeah. Rucking is good. I do all of our grocery shopping a block and a half, 2 blocks away. And I grocery shop like every 2 days because it's Germany, it's what you do. and I jam everything in my backpack that I've had for 20, maybe like 22 years. No, that can't be 12 years. 12 years, not 22 years. 12 years, still decent. And I've used it on as a day pack whenever we're hiking. I'll unload some stuff and load it in from our bigger like rucksack into it. I jam a fair amount, like it's a solid weight of goods into that whenever I go shopping and stuff. And it's nice. It's nice. You know, just sort of walking from the store with that. So, but it's not like rucking. Anyways. Oh, Jasmine says it's not a German thing to shop every 2 days. It's a me thing. Okay. Well, I thought, you know, because you guys have smaller refrigerators and shit that you got grocery stores everywhere. Anyways, I guess it's a me thing. Any news on the Techno Finger? Yeah, probably gonna put word out to see if someone can look at the design of their prosthetic and let's deconstruct it and then let's open source it, because I heard back that something about the size of the stub or whatever, like they weren't going to be able to do the prosthetic after I got measured for it. But I think what that is code for, based on the look on the prosthetic guy and then the guy that came from the prosthetics company's face, is they will not do that based off of my German health insurance. So, and I even asked, and I was like, health insurance? Oh, they're like, no, yeah, that won't be the problem, you know. But the guy got back to me, is like, well, they said they couldn't design it properly. I'm like, dude, this is the most straightforward thing to do a prosthetic for, because it was done by a surgeon. It's like, this is very standard nubbage we've got going on. Yeah, so it sounded like bullshit to me. It just sounded like, based on my interactions with them, I don't have the super fancy private insurance in Germany, so they're kind of like, yeah, they're not going to pay for it. So it was what was kind of expected. So I think what I'm going to do is, at some point when I'm got the time and I'm thinking about it, we'll look at their design and we'll do a decent 3D printed version of their design. I've seen the open source 3D design finger prosthetic that's out there. I think it's called like Nick's finger or something like that. I don't. The design's based on like a pulley that like an elastic pulley. That's not very, to me, that doesn't seem very strong. Whereas they've basically got two linkages. They've got two levers that work, so it kind of actuate. So I think it's a bit stronger design, so I'm going to go with that. I follow them on Instagram, so I'm going to, because they're always posting like, check out all these people with the cool fingers, and I'm going to shoot them a message, be like, well, maybe add a disclaimer that you've got to have really solid insurance in order to be able to get it. No, by the way, we're going to deconstruct your design and open source it. So, I wonder if they've got it patented. What's up, Dragon? Imagine things you could hide in that finger. Secret documents. The microfiche. Wasn't that the Cold War thing? Always hiding the microfiche of the pictures. Alright, so let's do some shit. Let me officially check this out. Checking out FP props. Hey, D loves pudding. So Firefly, I've seen the design that they used. I could have sworn they based that off of the Nick finger thing or whatever. Let me look it up. Nick's finger 3D printing. Hey, Callum. Yeah. So. So they, it's basically this design where there's the pulley, and then when you pull down, it curls it in. And I know you could do some you could probably do some fairly solid like like what maybe like a wire super strong fishing line or something to work on it. So I mean, in theory it could work. The the one that I was looking at was this one. And so that's more based off of these two levers. So yeah, I'm gonna shoot him a message. I'm gonna shoot him a message over the weekend and just be like, hey, the impression I got was that it's just my insurance isn't gonna cover it. So I kind of got a bullshit excuse that that my nub wasn't gonna work with their design. But I honestly I absolutely can't see how that would be the case, just because like I said, it's pretty fucking standard. So putting naked prosthetics into an on-stream Google search seems risky. I am a rebel, Dottie, a loner. What's up, Simon? How's the ghost feeling? Most of the time I don't think about it at all. All right, so I believe I've got this. Let's go. Let's check out the scene here. So yeah, like I said, it's been good. It's been good this week during the day. I've gotten some decent design work done, but it's stuff that I'm not gonna run you through because I really do want to. I want you guys to run into it on your own. So there's some fun stuff, and I figured with that out of the way, what I might do is do some prop placement. And oh, while I'm in here, let me there's a bug that I'm aware of. Let me fix it. Hey Simon, can you answer me? Can you riddle me really quick? I forget. I can modify the props and stuff in here while the scene's running, right? I just have to hit save. There were some floating props here earlier that I saw that I'd like to move into their proper position. Maybe they've already been fixed. It's feasible that Nate saw them and fixed them when he was in here checking out Collision. May want to resubmit insurance paperwork. Sometimes insurance companies will auto deny first time, approve a second time. You cannot. Okay, cool. Then I won't do that. Then I'll hop out of here and just go into the scene view. Thanks, Ali. Yeah, the problem is I've got to go to a different company then, because it's not me submitting the insurance paperwork, Bill. It's here you go from the orthopedist to I don't know the actual name of it in German. It's like a Sanitätshaus or something like that. Sanitate house. And so you go to a place that then they do prosthetic stuff, and then those guys contact the company, and then and these are the guys I was saying. Honestly, I wasn't super impressed with their service in the first place. It was like, all right, we'll let you know about X by the end of the week, and then a month later, I'm like, hey man, is this happening? Oh yeah, right away. I'm just like, slacker. Anyway, anyways, I'm gonna stop bitching about this topic and move on. How's everybody been? It's been what? It's been at least a week, 2 weeks since I streamed. But I am back. Subscene loader. Load subscenes. Okay, let's see if I can find this thing. You guys keep asking for playtest. Keep asking and asking and asking. When the game goes into early access, you guys better not be bullshitting around. Watch. A lot of you guys asking for playtest now. We go into early access, you're gonna subscribe for like a month. Then yeah. You're gonna be all tuckered out. You're already gonna have your fill. Thanks, Targus. Kilrain says, that's why I don't play tests very often. Good. Don't wear yourself out. Firefly says, I'm stoked to play. Been playing on a rec test server again to fill the void. EQ. Okay, yeah, I was like, regular test? Okay. EQ test server. Nice. Okay, it looks like you found and fixed these. Okay, good job, Nate. Bill says, I'm still waiting on a motorized wheelchair for the youngest. Process has taken 3 times to jump through all the hoops. Finally got it approved January. Still waiting in August. Yeah. Yeah. No, I don't know. I'll figure out how I'm going to follow up on this topic. But at the end of the day, it's like, do I really need it? I'm fine. My grip's not quite as good in some situations. Beyond that, whatever. I just want a cool robot finger. D says, I'll sub so I can idle in the bathhouse with booty bottoms in perpetuity. I know you will. For that very reason. Gonna sub until the day we shut the project down. Hopefully that is a long time. Hopefully that's a lot of subbing. Hopefully you didn't just curse us. Dragon's there 2 months later. See, I told you. I'd be like, you son of a bitch. Why? Zeph, what's up? Are you critiquing your intern live on stream? Talk about high pressure internship. I'm not critiquing him. I'm giving him props. I was going to... I don't know who had the props floating in here. Props. 2 different usage of the term. There was just some floating stuff in here. I thought maybe I did it. I was going to fix it. And it looks like he fixed it because he's awesome. Good job, Nate. See? I'm just giving him his propers. His proper respect. Do you realize that's where the term comes from? Alright, where does this live in a hierarchy? Lights, campfires. Perfect. I love that. I'm going to control D it. And then I'm going to run over here because I got to dupe it a bit. And there's probably a better way to do this, but you know what? Better safe than sorry. The prosthetic will make it easier to pursue my dream of becoming a supervillain. Catchy, that's a fair point. I don't think they realize that. I will put that on my paperwork. If I ever get paperwork. Jasmine, do you want to dump this horrible tasting thing out for me? It smells horrible. It smells like Red Bull, but yeah. You want to give me a little Monster Energy in a glass, like a fancy glass? Yeah. They realize that's why they're being stingy. Yeah, they're being careful. They're probably talked to by the government. Frickin' government. You'll become too powerful. You need to work on your German-English accent. It'll really fulfill the Bond role, villain role. What? Do you think this sounds evil? Nein. This accent is the accent of love. You missed last 10 minutes for lunch. What zone are we working on? Boric, if lunch takes priority over watching the stream, we're not telling you. Got to get your shit together. Really, really poor priorities, Boric, so... USOB. There's an ex-Delta Force guy that I like to... Jasmine just brought me the fanciest little... Here, I'll drink it with my pinky out. Oh, this is very fancy. Oh, these are the Black Forest shot glasses that we got. Yeah, you filled it more than a German shot. This is an American shot right here. Is that mead or an energy drink? It is, what is it, Mango Loco or whatever? Energy drink. Are you angry or just German? I ask that question all the time. All the time. Alrighty. Yeah, I mean, you know, I wouldn't mind drinking a little more than this, but this is definitely making it taste better. $7 p.m. on a Friday night drinking an energy drink. How can you even sleep later? I'm really that exhausted by life. Like, I'm so exhausted that once I'm done here, I typically if I'm done streaming at like 11, I'll be up till probably 11:30, just kind of like reading the news, doom scrolling a little bit, kind of rounding out my night to make sure that, you know, I like to check. I'll check my channels. I'll check my stories before bed just so I know like whether or not we're at war or something. And then I climb into bed and typically, man, I go straight to sleep. Robot likes to troll Discord before he goes to sleep because it's chaos for Nick. That is the opposite. You're just making it up. No, I don't do any harm. I will do like a lame ass joke or two in Discord every once in a while. And then I'll come in and Nick will have trolled everybody and caused chaos. And I just catch up on it because honestly, it's not chaos for me. It's just chaos in general. So I'm like, you guys have fun? Looks like everybody's having fun. I hopped in earlier because somebody accidentally posted a video related to like, I don't know, housing prices and interest rates over the years or something earlier, and I was like, we don't need to have this argument in here. And they're kind enough to immediately delete it. So your top left claims fallen past, but you said you weren't showing us falling past. No, I didn't say that, Boric. I said I'm not showing you the content I implemented in Fallen Past. I will show you a little bit of like me doing some prop work in here and then maybe adding some new stuff, but I won't show you the stuff that I did previously. Yeah, there's a funny thing, like when you're drinking in Germany, there's a saying that's finger weg from alcohol, and it means finger away from alcohol, right? So when you're drinking, you move your pinky away from the alcohol. It's just a very common phrase, at least where we live, which I think is funny because you could also consider it finger away from alcohol due to alcohol, which is kind of almost partially the truth in this case. I mean, if it weren't for alcohol, probably still have the finger. What happened to my finger? Drunken bar brawl. I lost in the drinking game. Yes, it was a bet against pirates. Is there a big bad name amongst these Ratmen camp? The other camp's got a few. This one so far doesn't have any, but will. Possum said, "Sorry if anyone asked already or I missed it, but did you fly to the States to be with your family this past week?" Nope. So, we're still working out the plans for getting to the States and stuff. What it sounds like right now is I just found out right before the stream via email from guy at the funeral parlor. Everything's ready for us to get there. So my dad's been cremated and that's ready to go. But been looking into having him interned up where his dad and my uncle are both buried. But that's in Pennsylvania at a the veterans cemetery up there, a VA cemetery. So the next step is basically, if I wasn't streaming, I'd probably be emailing or calling to sort of wrap this up, but I didn't want to miss tonight's stream because I just haven't been streaming. So Monday, what I'll do is I'll get a hold of the guys at the funeral parlor, funeral home, and then work with them to go through the VA to basically make sure that they lock down the eligibility, which he is, and then get the plan set up for when we can have like final honors up at the cemetery. And yeah, and then that'll be that. Then we'll fly in and get that wrapped up. Speak for all of us. When I say go ahead, email, we can wait. I'll knock it out right after the stream. Don't worry about it. Basically, we've gone back and forth. It's in a good state. Gotta be surreal feeling to have to talk about. Sorry to hear. Yeah, I appreciate it, guys. Everybody that's, been super cool on it. It's all I can say is, yeah, it happened last week. It was pretty intense. But I've got basically coming out of it. There are three things at play. One, his health hasn't been good for a very long time. It hasn't been like horrible, but it hasn't been good. And, it's one of those kind of bummer moments on top of the no shit bummer moments that all of it is. But like, he'd been working for the last year to really improve his health. And and that was basically predicated off of few conversations that we had over the last year where I was like, hey man, I feel like if you don't do this or that, you're going to pass away, like your health's going to get worse. And so he would kind of take it in stride when I say it, but I could see it had an impact. And then usually within a week, he was telling me like, hey, I did this, or hey, I'm working on that, or whatever. It was tight, right? When he went into the ICU, I've lost track of time, to be honest with you. Previous Saturday, yeah. So last Saturday, no, Saturday before that. Went to the ICU. He had like, it was something incredible when he explained it to me. It was something like 400 over 280 blood pressure or something. Like, he went in an ambulance and was just like, he was smart about it and got an ambulance, went in there, but like, dude was in good spirits the whole time we talked, but I knew it was significant enough and weird enough, and they didn't have an answer, which kind of told me that's not good. And they checked his heart stents and everything was good. And yeah, man, like, it was just one of those things. Yeah, I didn't know blood pressure could go that high either. That's what he told me. Those were the numbers. I don't know if they're accurate or not. I haven't looked it up. And yeah, man. So this is gonna sound kind of fucked up or whatever, but like, the level of positivity that he had, and even the initial message when he went to the ICU was like, it's not like him. Like, Sergeant Lord is kind of a gruff dude, blah, blah, blah. And when I got the message, I was like, hey, I'm in the, this county hospital ICU. But don't worry, like, everything's fine, exclamation mark. Dude doesn't use exclamation marks, right? Like, and I'm like, okay, this is legit. And just how upbeat he was and shit, I was like, maybe he's being upbeat because he's, like, just trying to convince himself, like, hey, if I'm hoping this is all good, because, like, or, I've seen this in the past where people, I think, can, if he had a sense that, yeah, this isn't gonna work, or this isn't good, then I could definitely imagine him putting on as brave a face as possible to just not have to put that on everybody else, right? So yeah, it was gnarly, man. Like, he was there from Saturday. Tuesday night we spoke. Tuesday night my time we spoke and got off the phone again, super upbeat. And Jasmine was like, oh, he's sounding pretty good, blah blah blah. I was like, yeah, actually I don't, like, it felt kind of, it just didn't feel right. I was like, yeah, they haven't figured out what's wrong with him, and it's his heart. And they were gonna release him, but he had gotten up and then, like, passed out and said, oh, okay, we can't release you, but we don't know what's going on, before that call and stuff, and still upbeat. And I was like, yeah, if they haven't figured it out, I don't know, man. Like, I think there's a 50-50 chance that we won't talk to him again. And sure enough, like, the next day, at the garden doing work, and my mom gave me a call. She never calls me, and so as soon as I saw that she was actually, like, calling, in like that, I was like, all right, well, I guess this just happened. And yeah, it's tough. It is obviously tough, but like, the how old was he? Young, 67. And I appreciate it, but yeah, like I said before, the reason why I think it's been manageable for me is, it's not like it was completely unexpected. I had a lot of decent conversations with him this last year, and then especially the days leading up to his death. And Jasmine and I are Christians, so for us it's one of those things where it's like, all right, well, I can't call you, I can't, I'll see shit and, like, want to forward a link or be like, oh yeah, he'll love this meme or whatever. Can't do that at the moment, but I'll see him again, and when I see him again, he'll be So yeah. Yeah, and that's the thing, man. Like, we all go through it. A lot of people have dealt with this, and you know, we all got to deal with it, right? So, so yeah, that's why I've just been like, man, all I can do now is try to help my stepmom out, get things lined up as much as possible. We'll go do our final respects, and then we'll get on with getting shit done. You know what I mean? Liz says you can still talk to him. He'll hear you. You know he's there. Talk to my dad. Yeah, I've been thinking that, like, there was something that happened right afterwards where I was like immediately felt even closer to him. So it's like once the initial sadness wore off, I was like, oh shit, we'll just talk all the time now. So yeah, yeah, it's tough, but shit is what it is, right? Yeah. Hey Chudster, thanks for hopping in. You came in on a serious day. Sorry about that. Um, Possum said, lost my father on March 23. Took several months for it to really hit me. Yeah, I think it's, it's probably going to be a little different for everybody, man. For me, it's like, they're the little things that pop up, and I'm sure they'll continue to pop up, but it's just, there's, it's not like it hasn't sunk in yet or anything, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Like, it's quite clearly is what it is, though. But yeah, man, I appreciate it, guys. Hey, thanks for being here. I know, no, for real, Liz. I know you guys care. You're good people. You're good people. What are we doing? Duping fires. Yeah, and I've been there. I was there. My ex-wife when her father was sick and ultimately passed away. I was there for that, and my best friends wound up going out. We got there the day his mom, like, we were just able to fly in and be there for his mom when she died. Like, we just made it by like an hour, to be honest, when we flew in for it. And I've seen it in the past, and it's just one of those, like you said, it's definitely a surreal moment when it was my dad. So, do I have any siblings? No. Bill said, that's always the hardest part for me. Often I see something my dad would laugh about, and I go to send it to him or text, and it hits me. Yeah, I think that's going to continue to be a tough one for me. So, what I've started doing already, like, just because the first couple times that happened, like last week, this week, I was kind of like, oh, fuck. I just immediately, what I'll do is I'll just talk about it out loud. You know what I mean? I'll just be like, dude, look at this. Like, I don't even have to send it to him anymore. I can just point to it. This says I find it hard on my birthday and his. Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah, he just had his birthday last month, earlier in the month. So, and it's funny because it led to a phone call where the whole week I was like, all right. On this day, it was like, whatever it was, like Thursday or Saturday or something. I was like, all right, Saturday, I'm calling dad. Like, I'm not gonna call him beforehand. Like, every day leading up to it, I totally was like looking forward to calling on his birthday. the day of, like, something happened. And, like, the day flew by, and then I was like, woke up the next day and I was like, oh shit, that was yesterday. And I immediately, like, as soon as he was awake, called him. I was like, I'm the worst, dude. Every day I've been telling Jasmine, all right, can't wait to call Dad for his birthday. Can't wait, blah, blah, blah. And then I just, I dropped the ball and, like, wound up talking to him, laughing our ass off about it. But yeah, so. Jude said, it was rough when my dad passed. I'm the youngest of 5 kids, the only boy, so he and I were close. My father-in-law said we acted more like brothers than father and son. He passed on on my sister's birthday, the one who's 3 years older, closest in age. Only one I get along with. Oh man, that's gotta be tough for her as well. Yeah. Yeah, that was the thing. My parents had me when they were 17. Right? So my parents had me when they were 17, which means I basically grew up with my parents. And I didn't understand that really until I got older. Like once I kind of got in my 30s, and then especially when I hit 40, it really just started to make sense, like what that means. And I was just like, holy shit, these guys are pretty amazing to be able to pull this off. Because raising a kid at like 17's tough. Chester says, I get it, man. My dad's been gone 16 years. August months are still hard for me. He was born on the 13th and passed on the 18th. Great support here and through the forum. Taking little strides. Don't be afraid to reach out, even if it's just chat. Oh, I appreciate it. And guys, don't worry about me. Like, I am a solid. I've had some opportunity to be through some like sad moments in my life, and I've had some good opportunity to like learn how to. I've had a lot of training with acceptance, and so it's helping here. Along with my uncanny ability to compartmentalize, I guess. How's my German coming along? It's decent. I went to the immigration office this week because I got a new passport, so that means I got a new resident permit. Whenever my passport's updated, I get a new resident permit since I am a permanent resident. Pretty fancy. And I feel like I was probably the most impressive German speaker in the immigration office, aside from the people that work there. My speaking was awesome. Jude said, yeah, she calls me on her birthday every year and complains about him forcing her not to forget him. I asked about it. That's nice, man. Being a parent at 34 is tough. I can't imagine 17. Yeah, it's pretty wild. Oh, man. Okay, these are scaled already. Cool. I may scale some of them up. Like, if I were to dupe this one and then scale it some more, does that break anything? I hope not. Scale it subtly. Just some variety here in the cages. Yeah, I was actually pretty excited this week getting a little bit of like actual design work done. I was proud of myself. You guys only see me playing with props and shit. I actually made some playable stuff. Your other sister was stationed near Bamberg, not Hamburg. There is an actual Bamberg, and swore everyone there had fetal alcohol. That's not very nice of her. It may be true, but Bamberg is not Hamburg. It's southern Germany. Wooden signs, good. Huts, nice. But let's see, do we have... There's gotta be... Ooh, halfling skeleton. That's kind of neat. Do we have... just boxes and shit? Crates. We have to have crates somewhere. Possum says, see you putting in cages, keep me at bay. Keep you locked up. Speaking of being a parent, it's really made me think about the time management. I found it really hard to log into PQ, since it is such a time sink. Eminem going to have a similar experience grind med downtime, or think it'll be a little faster pace? I think the moment-to-moment downtime will be maybe less tedious, but the actual like leveling, the grind pace is going to be similar. Like we want it to take a while to like level up. That's the whole game. Nick said, doesn't slow down time make it easier to be a parent? Yeah, like maybe we need to increase the downtime so you can like get up, go check on the chicken. Dad server. You guys are gonna make Dad server happen, aren't you? You love a Dad server? You guys keep saying it. And people are like, you guys are gonna make too many servers and segment your player base too much. It's all part of our secret plan. We're gonna launch with like 43 different server options. As long as we can get like 5 of you on each server, we'll be solid. The performance will be outstanding. Optimize our network code? Never. That server will have 90% of the population. Until you hit your leveling cap, then you'll have to disperse. You need a solid 6 for a full group? No, that's not how it's going to work. Every server will have like 5 people, and then the servers will have their own Discord channels, and they'll be petitioning people. They'll be like, come to our server. We're trying to get a full group together. Come over here. We've got stuff. We've got good stuff. Come hang out with us. Hey, soldier. I will only accept ad server if the male PC models get belly jiggle animation. We can put that on our stretch goal list. Maybe we should have like a list of stretch goals when we go into early access, and it'll be like, if we've got you know, X number of subs, then we will try this, try that, blah blah blah. Hello, Matthias. Simon said, what did Simon? I saw he just said something about dad server experience rate. Yeah, said dad server moves at a quarter of the speed of the regular servers. Folks might like it. What innovations do you have in this game? Dad bod jiggle physics? Like JRPG levels of jiggle. Was the Pinky situation like from the movie Four Rooms? It's been so long since I've seen Four Rooms. I don't think I've seen that movie in like 30 years. I don't remember. What happened? I will tell you, I won't confirm, but I'll say hot or cold. Do we really not have a single crate in this zone? That's insane. I can't imagine that. We gotta have a crate. Do we not have any crates for real? No. Is this even a zone? Yeah, no, it kind of looks like it. No crates, only cages. I'm kind of afraid to add a new prop to the scene. I don't want to break anything. We got ruins, okay. Palm trees, yes. Rocks. Halfling skeleton. Mm-hmm. Okay. We've got, like, the game has crates in it. They're everywhere. Oh, now I feel nervous. Now I don't want to, like, start throwing some random shit in here and then, like, break something. But I guess if I break something, then the people who are doing the real work in here could fix it. Fallen past drops. I meant to ask, can you actually hear the music well enough? It's been pretty low, but we were talking about serious subjects, so. Music's good? Okay. Okay, I turned it up a tiny bit. Yeah. Breaking shit is how Sean's a job creator. That's definitely one way to look at it. Break things so others can be important. Others are important. That doesn't look right. You know what? I may actually go with the environment guys before I do too much more on this. And that way I actually don't screw anything up. Because there's some stuff that I want to do prop wise, but it'll help if I actually know that everything is good to go. So I may just switch back to NPC placement. Dude, this is gonna be it's gonna be a lot of content in this zone for you guys. It's another insanely large zone with tons of different areas, so I think you're gonna enjoy it. But it's pretty high level, so I don't think you're really gonna be in here much in the playtest for a while. Liz said, by the way, my Bob and Lace thing is coming on. Got some bad news this week. Can't share under promise to. Oh, I've lost all mojo. Well, I'm sorry to hear you got bad news. Sometimes you just gotta. Sometimes you gotta lose your mojo and accept it, and then. But you gotta go back to it. You can't quit. You can't stop. Nothing wrong with losing your mojo a little bit, but that can't be the reason why you don't finish your project, Liz. You gotta wrap that up so that you can make us some curtains. It's curtains. Unfortunately, I need someone else to be making decisions as to what's happening, sort of the mojo entirely. My English is getting bad. I'm gonna reread that. Literal future depends on. Well, that's no good. That sounds scary. You got all the support you need, Liz? You would have a mojo buff. If we don't, hey, if you don't, we can get Ollie to make one. No, not related, but depends on how things are moving on. Anything any of us can help you with? Outside of stream, of course. Yes, no. Well, you know where to find us, Liz. If you think of anything, let me know. Ah. All right. Got these. Let's save. Place looks like it needs a couple of weeds in the corners. It does. You know what? I love placing weeds so much. I gotta get with Harrison and find out what's up with the weeds. Because I don't know if the weeds I put in before were not the right thing or what the deal is, but Those of you that have just tuned in, I'm not drinking anything fancy. It's not alcohol. My wife decided she's going to be a smartass when I asked for a fancy glass for Monster Energy. But yeah, Liz, as soon as I find out what's going on with the weeds, I'll come in and place them around. But I think maybe it wasn't maybe it's not a prefab or something. I don't know. And these guys, Simon, if you're out there, or people that just know Unity art stuff better than I do, is why do these guys over here? Oh wait, it's, you can't even see it because it's like behind me. Here, I'm gonna make myself disappear. Nope, that made everything but me disappear. Main camera. I don't know if Simon's around or able to see. This icon looks different than these icons. And so, right? Because I'm assuming that's a prefab. And that's an FBX. So these guys are prefab. Full Blue is prefab, the other's a model. So the models need prefabs, right? To be made out of them so that they're optimized. Anybody that's new to this channel and you're like, what? How are they making a game? This guy doesn't know basic Unity shit. Keep in mind that other people know this stuff. I'm the front man. I come here every once in a while and place a few crates and then leave. And in theory, I should mainly be interested in design data, not this stuff. And so there's just a lot I don't know. So don't get nervous. He's the Steve Jobs of WC. That's right. I'll take all the credit and do none of the work. That is my mission. Just kidding, Steve. We know that you had skills. I've read all your biographies. He's the face. Oh, that's not a good sign. We gotta have better face than me. Ollie's the face. The big smiling face. We use you as a leaker source of information. I did turn my camera off so that people could see this menu behind me. I've turned myself back on. Since I'm the face. You don't have to, but the prefab basically have any add-on stuff. Prefab, FBX, prefab, okay. Yeah, I think... What's up, Hashpipe? I think... Though that we ran into, because like I placed a shitload of like these grasses at one point, but the problem was they weren't prefabs. I think maybe that was the problem. They weren't optimized. So every grass that if I come in here and place a bunch of these grasses, right? Then it's not. These are all individual instances of the model as opposed to being a instantiation of the prefab, right? Which is more optimal. Is that correct? This is why I was like, I'll ask the art guys this question before I go screwing around with stuff. So yeah, but like as Liz said, I like it whenever and I've been meaning to come in and get more of these in. Like whenever you got these little grasses, man, you toss a little grass here and there, just like a little one, just here and there. And when your eye sees a little grass, then your mind just assumes there's more grass than there is. That is my belief. That's my pop psychology on this. So, but we're not going to place them yet. I'm going to find out from the archives how they want me to approach it. Maybe a few boulders? Dude, we got so many boulders in here, though. Freaking, it's Boulder City. Dude, look at all these boulders. Harrison went on a boulder. He went boulder crazy. Talking like 6 foot wide ones. So we got these, we got those. We got these ones. Can deep dwarves have an innate sprint called Boulder Dash? Oh, John. Oh. Oh, John. Boulder Dash is a continuous roll. I'd be curious to see what weird stuff we do with the deep dwarves. They're definitely strange. Oh, Nicodemus, I saw your in the weeds joke earlier. Sorry, I did not respond to it. Want the Ogre Sam to be a leap and sit on things? I think the Ogre Sit still has the butt wiggle that I put in originally. I found that to be very cute. Prefabs are not more optimal than models by nature, but like Liz says, prefabs much easier to be modified later. For instance, if you use grass prefabs, decide to modify all of those, you can do that by modifying their prefab. Prefabs can also contain whatever scripts you want to add, to include performance enhancements potentially. Thank you, John. So we got models in this folder. I wonder, do we have models? I was wondering if we had like a prefabs folder. With stuff in it. Hey, Bumtle. Bumtil. As long as in our lore the dwarf society isn't in a steady decline like every other fantasy universe, we don't need to add a new entry in the book. Lore's the lore for the dwarves being in a steady decline? No, they're coming up. Everybody's coming up in our world. It's a time of peace and discovery. Matthias says, Friends of Culture, now we need an M&M logo where everyone has their pinkies out. Are you picking on me? Are you mocking me? That pinky joke. I'm just kidding. I know. What? Don't hate yourself. Ironically, no. Now that you mention I hate myself. No, it's funny, man. The pinky's the pinky is open for mockery. This is why there's bugs. Sean is stuck at base 9. Yeah, I can't count anymore. Pinky is gone. Hey Darius, I appreciate it. It's all good. It's all good. That's why I didn't stream earlier in the week. I was like, you know what? I'm still I'll be a mess. But between then and now, I have gotten it together. That is not what we needed to do. That is not how we do that. Hey Ashpipe, right on, dude. If you don't hear from me, then ping me. I got a lot of random shit going on at the moment, so if you don't hear from me, feel free to ping me. That way I don't forget. Enjoy your meeting as much as you can enjoy a meeting. That was pointless. Let me actually, it'll be quicker if I just do it this way. I forgot I restarted my machine. Everything's discombobulated. All my windows are closed. Silly. meetings on Fridays should be banned and Mondays. I've been on different teams where there was all sorts of like rules regarding meetings and days you couldn't do them and all that stuff. I swear I've been on a team before, at least one, where there's like a ban on Friday meetings. And man, I've been at companies where there's so many meetings all the time. Oh, came from a Friday meeting. Was it critical? Was it important? Was it worth your time? Excuse me. Doctors, so not really. Hmm. Find that if you need to ban Monday, Friday meetings, that's usually just means there's someone who needs to have meeting creation privileges revoked because they're abusing meetings. Yeah, that's another thing that's interesting is like when anybody can set up a meeting, that can get pretty crazy pretty quick. How many people know the reference to Dozakar's name? How many people know Dozakar? Ooh. All this Monster Energy's made me sleepy. I'm being pretty quiet tonight, so again, if you can't hear the music, you need to let me know. I'll turn it up. Because I don't know that I'm gonna... we'll see. If a topic comes up and I'm super talkative, then I'll be talkative. But otherwise, just gonna plod along. What am I looking for? I'm looking for a... Found them. Just post my Bobbin Square progress in Discord. Oh, let me see. Don't look at that. That's private. Where is your progress? In general? Okay. Let me look. Awesome. I was watching a quick video of someone doing this, and it's wild to see people actually doing it. That is so incredible. So, is it always done by hand, or do they have machines that do it as well? Right? Like, how the hell do they make, like, crazy curtains and stuff like this? You make lace with machines? I was about to say, I was like, there's gotta be a machine thing. Yeah, like, the way it's braided and stuff over here is just incredible. Zooming in. Like, just the sort of, like, the way it's kind of, like, twisted up and stuff is pretty wild. That's a pretty picture just on its own. Good job, Liz Biscuits. Funnily enough, most of the name lace variants seem to be European, a good chunk British. Some towns just made lace. Yeah, I was yesterday, Jasmine and I, when we were eating, we were watching a video some guy made about Ted Kaczynski. And sort of, the question was Ted Kaczynski right? Was the question of the video. It was just talking about the spoiler alert. It's hard to justify blowing people up. But it was just talking about how, like, back in the day, before sort of modern jobs became what they are, it was so common for entire families to just participate in the same trade and have that be passed around generation to generation and stick to that area. And then you mentioning the, like, areas, like some towns just doing lace or whatever. It's kind of interesting. But I feel like the topic will swerve into conversation that'd be kind of hard to have here without potentially getting a little too Yep, too close to the political rocks. One of these days, I'm gonna retire, and then I'll have a separate stream. It'll be totally NWC non-affiliated, and then one of these years we can have those conversations. But it won't be anytime soon. Yep. Yeah. Non-niche worlds cult. Yeah, it'll be my opportunity if I say all views expressed here are my own. A tinfoil robot? Yeah, for sure. I believe in crazy stuff. Zuka knows. He's seen behind the curtain. Not safe for niche worlds cult. What was that? What's the anagram or whatever abbreviation? A successor to Robot Chicken? No. I'm not that creative and silly. Like to venture back into those convos someday, Sean? Yeah, maybe we could do that, John. What was I looking for? Oh, go to. Top list. Do. Looking forward to doing a jungle zone at some point based on this music. You guys have any cool plans for the weekend? I think the weather's going to turn out to not be super great, so I may actually get more work done this weekend than I thought I was going to. Which is good for in-person D&D game. Been a while. That should be fun. Island zone with cats? Call it Care Island? We'd get in trouble, wouldn't we? Get us one of those Swedish cease and desist. Or actually, it wouldn't have to be Swedish. I guess it would come from the States. Costanza said, I've been enjoying EQ2 Origins, probably a bunch of that. Oh, nice. Kids are at the X's for a long camping trip, so I get to build and paint my Warhammer backlog. That's pretty badass. What do your kids think about the Warhammer? Have you exposed them to it? All July has been hot and humid. Haven't got much done outside at all. Dude, our weather this summer has just been straight up goofy. Bill's working this weekend. May get out some point, play a tabletop game with the wife and friends. Basic fantasy, very D&D 1E like. And that sounds like a lot of fun too. Bentali is a Karen Island. That'd be hilarious. You get there and they immediately want to speak to your party arrives. They want to speak to the manager. Ventali said, put together a bunch of spare hardware for our new home server. Finally got around to dropping Cat 6 in various areas of the house. This weekend is yard work, rebuilding network across the house. That sounds fancy. What do you do with your house network? How big is your house? Son's building orcs. Daughter loves painting but won't give it a shot. Aw. Daw. How old are your kids? Daw. I'm always excited when weekends roll around, even if I've got work to do or no matter what's going on. I'm always excited when the weekend rolls around because Jasmine's off work. And I love seeing some extra Jasmine around the house. It's always nice. Always nice having a little bit extra time with her. Even if we're not doing anything. I sure like that lady. Son is 15, daughter's 13. Daughter who's too little for Warhammer is 7. Ah, cool ages. With your teens, have you run into like the struggle of them not kind of relating, or it's like I've always wondered if it would be like, I was reflecting on this a little bit, and considering my dad, in his age, and then, like when we had the skate park, he was really trying to, I don't know, kind of fit in and be cool and stuff. And looking back on it, I definitely appreciate the effort. Is that a challenge with the kids, you think? Are they a little like, oh, Dad, that's lame? Or are they like, oh, shit, this is actually pretty cool? Yes, no, I find doing things with them helps. Rollerblade a lot with my daughter. Cool. You just need something they want to do with them. Yeah. Ventali said, not very big. My wife and I work from home and game quite a bit. She's a high-ranking raider in Final Fantasy 14. So having a hardwire connections in office, good Wi-Fi throughout the house is a must. Otherwise, I run some media servers and such. Well, some file backup servers, game servers for friends, etc. That's pretty cool, man. It's one of those things where I'm like, I do so little. I have so little understanding of hardware just because I don't think it's something where if I actually sat down and thought about it, read the manual, whatever, it'd be that big a deal. But whenever somebody just has like a knack for it or has experience doing it and stuff, I'm always kind of impressed and jealous. If I could, one project that I would do if I had like infinite time, one of the projects I would love to do is like set up a home server and find every badass movie from the 80s, 70s, 80s and 90s and just create a giant like server of movies. If my health ever gets bad, I just want to sit in front of a TV and watch everything I watched in the 80s all over again. Sean, just sounds like you need access to my Plex server. Maybe. Um, in all seriousness, I've heard that German ISPs, I don't know if they're using like deep packet inspection or how, but I heard they're a little, and it may just be if you're downloading and not just streaming, but I heard they're real, like ISPs here will be quick to frag you if you're doing anything with pirated content. But I guess there's ways to avoid that, VPN or something. I don't know. Yeah, isn't that what VPNs are for? That's what friends are for. The big crimes, the small crimes. Even when you need to stream, Porky's too. 50 terabytes NES isn't being leveraged enough. Dude, alright. We may have to talk. ISP level DPI would be scary, very scary. I thought some ISPs were doing it. Maybe I'm full of shit. Maybe I just read an article at some point that was like ISPs were looking into doing it. Zukin wasn't lying. I do wear a tinfoil hat. Yeah, DPI can't penetrate into encryption, but it can do statistical analysis of the endpoints and what amounts data are moving, take action based on that. That's what I would assume, right? Right? They don't need to know what the behavior, they don't need to know the details of the behavior. They just need to know enough data to make a solid guess as to what behavior is occurring, right? Hey Sparrow, I am decorating. As soon as I started doing some dungeon decorating, I was thinking of you. I did a little bit and then ran into some questions I want to bounce off the environment guys before I go further. So then I started plopping mob plopping. Yeah, but you could be streaming videos like the stream between a bunch of remote. Yeah, that's the thing. As long as I'm not downloading, I think I'm probably fine. But I'll get with D Loves Pudding. I'll see what's going on with his craziness. Ugh. Oh. It'll most likely be downloading from unknown media sharing locations. There are good databases of what the internet does that you can get if you have even enough packets or do a lot of work to make your own. Yeah, I'm probably not going to do that though. Like I'm I'm of a level of sophistication, Dozakar, where basically my plan was just to order a bunch of DVDs and get a big DVD library of stuff that used to be on VHS that you can't get anymore. No, I mean that's what the ISP uses to block you. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm there's a lot of stuff that Jasmine hasn't seen from like the 80s since she was born in the 80s. And German. So I've been slowly exposing her to stuff. It's great though. She is awesome because when the DVD, so we had a DVD rental place like right around the corner here. It was the last one in the city. And when they went out of business, we were just buying a bunch since it was super cheap and we wanted to support them. And Jasmine was fantastic. Like she was at work. I texted her that I was heading up there. She was like, I was like, want me to look for anything? First response, Die Hard 1 and 2. I was like, all right, got him. I got you covered, babe. I got you. Don't suppose you have the full Dungeons & Dragons cartoon? Liz, I don't know if it's every single episode, but I know YouTube has most, if not all, of the D&D cartoon. Has she seen classics like Karate Kid, Three Ninjas, etc.? Karate Kid, I'm assuming she has seen, maybe even Karate Kid 2. Have you seen Karate Kid? Karate Kid 2? Okay. Yeah. Three Ninjas. We watched a 2-hour thing the other night instead of watching a movie. We wound up, I mean, we were doing some other stuff as well. We wound up watching a 2-hour, the like best 100 movies of the 1980s or something, and then like another one was like best 100 movies of the 90s, best action movies of the 80s. We just got on this kick of just watching it because it's like a, you know, it's a 2-hour YouTube video that's like just every 2 minutes a new movie's being broken down. Super nostalgic. Loved it. But it just reminded me of a bunch of shit that we still need to see. So we wound up watching RoboCop. That was pretty good. Had you seen RoboCop before? Didn't remember it? Yeah, so that was nice. Here's the watch order for watching Highlander movies. 1. Oh, the other thing is Jasmine is face blind, which is a really interesting phenomenon. I thought, remember that time RoboCop shot the dude in the dick? Yeah, we thought that was hilarious. We laughed and we laughed. Shot the hostage through the dress. Perfect move. So anyways, I thought she was joking at first, and over the years it like sank in that she's actually face blind. So we can watch a movie and it'll have a really recognizable main character. Like it could be whatever, Tom Hardy. And we'll watch the movie, and then the next day we could watch a show. If it's got Tom Hardy in it, I'd be like, do you recognize that guy? And she's like, no, should I? So I'm constantly like, do you know who I am? Do you recognize me? Yeah. So yeah, Malcolm in the Middle, Breaking Bad, Your Honor, right? 3 shows. She did not recognize him at all. And I even showed her I'm like, this is the dude, and brought the videos up. So that's how I know she really loves me. Because every it's like, what is it? Wasn't that a Drew Barrymore movie or something where she had amnesia? Every day she met the guy again or whatever. Like Jasmine looks at me every day and she's like, this guy seems all right. I don't know who he is, but he seems all right. First 50 dates. There we go. More likely she's learned your face and doesn't want to learn another one. Too much effort. Oh, you say my face is a lot of work. I think you're trying to say something nice. I don't know. I'll take it as a nice thing. She saw my face, learned it, and was like, I'm done. I'm done with this shit. I can't handle this. Too much. Oh, sorry, I didn't even see it was you, Dargith. Say something nicer, you knew. I didn't see it was you. I should have known better. Bryan Cranston I can kind of understand. He really seems different. Breaking Bad versus Malcolm Middle Seinfeld. He was in Seinfeld? What? Yeah. Recurring character, dentist. I'm gonna have to rewatch Seinfeld. I think Chat had a Red Bull today. They're sassy. What? Nick, did you look that up or did you just know that? Oh shit, I recognize him now. Yeah, so that's him as well, babe. Yeah, that's him. Reverse of Judaism, they start calling Jerry an anti-dentite. God, that show is so funny. Sneaky Pete, Cranston is amazing in that. I think I saw a few episodes of Sneaky Pete. What's his face? What's the main character's name? Something Riabani or something like that. Something like Italian or something. Some Rabisi. Okay, that's what it was. All right, what was I doing? All right, save this guy. The guy, nope, no other open changes. Rabisi. Hello, it's me, Rabisio. Huh? Where? This guy? Oh, he's gonna be a bad guy. He's a bad guy. I can't remember which bad guy. Oh, we've got documentation for that. I updated documentation. Falling past. I realized this week when I wasn't streaming, I was like, I've yet to upload so many VODs. Oh man, I'm so behind on the VOD thing. So I think I'm actually gonna have to put a disclaimer in the title of the VODs. I'll get them uploaded this weekend, but I'm gonna like put a disclaimer. It's like, this shit's from like June. Don't freak out. It's like the old stress test and playtest VODs, all sorts of shit that I haven't uploaded. It's actually gotten to a point where I actually feel kind of bad about it. So I'll try to get that up. Excuse me. Put up a VOD featuring blue capsules. I did, Dargith. I don't think many people watched it. I found like an old one and put it back up because I was like, I don't know if this ever got posted. And okay, Jokan Darlu is the one that hasn't been used, so we'll use him here. He probably needs a placeholder as well. Let me add a placeholder to him. That's not what I meant to do. Copy. Best of the best 1 through 4. Man, it's been forever since I watched those. Definitely watched them as like a youngin', preteen teen, I think. We watched Tremors last month, I think. Watched Tremors. That movie holds up really well. Tremors actually holds up well. I think it's because of the practical effects. Movies with practical effects from the 80s and shit hold up really decently. The acting's solid. Like, it is really solid. The foreshadowing in like every scene. Iron Eagle, haven't seen in a while. We'll have to see if it's if it holds up. Remo Williams, fantastic movie. I saw they were reviewing that as part of the list of like old movies. And gave it a pretty good score. I thought Remo Williams was a super underrated movie. So are we talking just 80s? You want 70s and 90s as well? 70s, 80s, 90s, dude. New Alien movie coming out this month is mostly practical and set building. Yeah, we'll see if it's good. Dargit said, that's my theory on why the Lord of the Rings trilogy will really last. Developed right at the same time where CG was getting good, but it was used to augmented effects rather than be for literally everything. I watched Gladiator again the other night. We sat and watched it, and that's another one that holds up really well. Thank you. Appreciate it, D-Loves Pudding. Saw The Thing like last year or earlier in the year. Decent. And the thing with practical effects is, even if they don't hold up well, some of them, if they're a little cheesy, it just adds to the flavor of the movie. Like, there's a charm to it. So, yeah, absolutely. Dragon said, Buckaroo Banzai. Mr. Big Booty. Was it Mr. or Dr. Big Booty? Every John Candy movie? Holy shit, yeah. John Candy movies were definitely part of the list. Uncle Buck, all that stuff. And I was like, oh man. I miss John Candy. Big Booty? Dude, I gotta watch Howard the Duck again. John Candy's daughter looks just like him, so hot. Hey man, if that's your thing, cool. What'd you miss? Oh, not a ton. You know me. There's a channel on YouTube that reacts to, breaks down visual effects, some of the old movies, 23's modern, some amazing effects. Oh, that's actually really cool. Just watched Legend and Labyrinth for the first time the other day. For the first time? Zukin. What? I'm so excited for you. What did you think? You never saw Labyrinth? Dude, my mom and I saw Labyrinth at Cinema and Pub in Ocala, Florida. How fast is my internet? At the moment, German fast, but we're gonna get fiber sometime before the end of the year, I guess. Dude, my mom and I saw Labyrinth at Cinema and Pub. And at the end of the movie, I cried all the way to the car because the movie was over, and I wanted to live in the labyrinth, and I was very sad. I was very sad that she was not going to stay in the labyrinth with all those wonderful characters. Made me very sad that she left. Because they were her friends. And they loved her. Clash of the Titans. I thought Clash of the Titans was like 81, 82 or something like that. But I guess it could have been late 70s. Oh shit, I have a question for you guys. I was talking to my mom about this the other day. I went to the movies with her when I was. We saw a couple of movies that I can remember when I was like 5 or 6, I think. And one of them I was able to figure out and find. So one of them was an anime movie about a train going through the universe, and I was able to track that down. It's a real movie. I thought for most of my life, I thought I'd imagined it, dreamed it or something. But apparently, real movie, cool. Yep, Galaxy Express. That was the movie. So I tracked that down. That was good. But right around that time, we saw another movie. And there's a scene in the movie, and I saw somebody like, the original was 81? Nice. I remember there was a scene in the movie, and I don't think I'm conflating Clash of the Titans with this movie, because I swear I saw a screenshot from it on this random ass Telegram channel the other day, where where there are these big like CG kind of Harryhausen claymation scorpions in a desert, and a guy and a girl were riding a motorcycle. And so I remember a scene in that movie where like blood or oil or something hits the ground and then turns into scorpions at a gas station, and they've got the motorcycle. Does anybody know what that movie is? Real Genius, Lucas, Last Starfighter. Awesome movies. Real Science, fun movie. Rest in peace, Will Paxton. Enemy Mine, excellent movie. Louis Gossett Jr. We had that on video. I watched the shit out of Enemy Mine. Was that the movie that had Armageddon vibes with the roaches that ate people? The one I'm thinking of? I don't, that's not, yeah, I don't. I just remember the gas station and the scorpions. It wasn't, did Heavy Metal have a live action component? I forget. I thought it was all animated. If it had a live action component, maybe that was in there? It's been a while since I've seen Heavy Metal. Swade said there was a movie. Movie I saw as a kid, which I thought I dreamed up, about a kid who loses all his hair after being scared, going into some spooky house. Did you find out whether or not it was real? Chip said Clash of Titans has a blood that spawns scorpions. Yeah, that's why I was like, I don't know if I'm just conflating it, but I swear this was a separate movie. Oh shit. You know what movies I forgot about until you just said that, Nicodemus? Food of the Gods. Was Jan Michael Vincent the guy? Was he in a movie that sounds like what I'm describing? Maybe. Damnation Alley. Let me look it up. If you guys can help me find this movie, I'm gonna be so amped. Damnation Alley movie. That looks pretty badass, even if it's not the movie. Look at Jan Mike. Dude, that is the movie, I think. Maybe. Maybe I'm conflating this movie with Clash of the Titans, but this is the scene. This looks familiar. Giant fake scorpions with dude on motorcycle. What? I love this community. Right. We need to get that soundbite for this. All right, Damnation Alley. We know what to look for now. And it's Jan Michael Vincent. Look at this charmer. Wholesome. Look at this freaking poster. No. Look at this vehicle. Why are we so bad at making cool shit these days? This is where it's at. Want to do a futuristic space game where it's all just like retro space, like those books that you used to be able to get. They're just a painting of all the space like ships and shit. I used to go to the library on base, and thank you so much, Damnation Alley. It's awesome. I'm saving this. I'm gonna check it out this weekend. But you guys, you know what I'm talking about? Like the space books where everything was just painted and it'd be all these badass spaceships and stuff. I would go to the library on base at Fort Campbell and just sit there and thumb through those books for hours. It looks like album cover art. Where was I? These guys are good. Yes. Yes. That was a hell of a find, Nicodemus. If I watch that movie and it winds up having the scene that I'm thinking of, like no bullshit, I've been wondering if I made that up for like 40 years. Thanks to the power of the internet, I may now know. what that movie was about. Dude, watching Galaxy Express again was pretty wild. Talet said, that's why I love the power of Reddit. There's some subreddits can answer anything. Yeah, I bet. I thought it was wild. Was it 4chan or whatever? That was every time Shia LaBeouf, like, didn't he have like a, I forget what the story was. Jasmine and I watched the mini documentary on it, and it was like, it's like, what was it that he was like hiding or whatever? There was like a thing, and then people just kept discovering every time. Yeah, it's flag. Yeah, they just kept like finding it, and they used incredible internet power to figure it out. Like, all right, if the sun's positioned here in the scene, and there's a contrail over there flying north south, blah blah blah, this time of day. Okay, it's right here. It was just they were finding it everywhere. It was wild. Hallo, Ishiwatari, wie geht's? Nope, not go home. Go to... Ooh, Sparrow said our two youngest have wanted to start watching horror movies, so we let them watch OG It. Creepy. Awesome movie. Tim Curry's amazing in that. Pet Cemetery. Whoa, the Zelda scene? Whoa, just gave me goosebumps. Whoa. Zelda scene, oh man. And then Poltergeist. Every time my mom and I talk about movies and stuff, she brings up the time that we watched Poltergeist. He Will Not Divide Us if you want to Google the Shia LaBeouf video. Yeah, it is hilarious to see everything they went through. It's worth it. Poltergeist, man. My dad told my mom that it wasn't going to be scary. We watched it. I forget. It was like, oh shit. I had just gotten back from a trip to the U.S. to stay with my grandparents for the summer. Came back and we were watching that movie on the bed together. And my mom... It's weird because my dad picked a movie and I wanted Kentucky Fried Chicken, so we had a bucket of chicken. We're sitting there, like the TV was, I don't think it was, maybe it was our only TV. It was in their room, so I was sitting on the bed watching Poltergeist, and my mom got so scared. It was such a jump scare. One of the things, I don't know if it was the clown, the tree, the this, the that, like jump scare, and she like flung chicken. She had chicken in her hand and she threw it, and our cat grabbed the chicken breast and took off running through the house with the chicken breast in its mouth. And the wallpaper in the house was like this really nice, like woven kind of like fabric wallpaper, and the cat ran up the wall with the chicken breast in her mouth. And was just up on the wall with the chicken breast. That's the story as my mom tells it. I'm fairly certain it's a true story. I kind of remember it. The meat scene was the most horrific scene to me as a kid. Dude, disgusting. Yeah, it was right up there with Pink Floyd The Wall. The cat had seen the movie already and waited for that moment to strike. It was brilliant. Dude. Ishwatari-sa, ganz okay, danke, and Sebs. Also, it's kind of flattering that you switched to German just for me. Hey, I'll switch to German for any Germans that come in. You just happen to be my main German. In chat, if you want to get in chat, babe, then I'll talk to you in German. Gosh. Ishiritare, du bist mein einziger Deutscher. Da gibt's kein anderer Deutscher von mir. Please tell your wife I mean no competition. What's secret in German, babe? Hmm? Geheim? Unser Geheim? Geheimnis? Jasmine should be mic'd up. I feel like her side chat commentary would be streaming gold. Yes, and not just for the accent. What was I doing? She tries, but she's not loud enough. I've got a noise gate on this, so she actually has to be pretty loud to trip it if I'm not already talking. That way you don't hear the fan. I just think you don't hear the fan in the background. Also, she could probably answer in like 20 different languages. See. Her Spanish is so-so. Her French, even more so-so. It's deprecated. Her Swedish is excellent now. Her Russian, only if your snake needs a taxi. German, not loud enough. She's a quiet German. What? Dude, what am I doing? Incorrect. Take me 3 hours to do a thing. Has she seen Blade Runner? Have you seen Blade Runner, babe? We watched it together, yeah. No, we watched part 2 in the cinema. Yeah. Do you understand what Dargit just said? What's the phonetics on that? Nie gavarete paruski? Nie? Say it louder. Was that loud enough? I don't know if she tripped the noise gate. Did you say... It sounded funny. Naiv pachuchut? What is it? Yeah, chuchut panimayo paruski? Yeah. Yeah? Yeah. Yeah, whatever. Asked if she speaks Russian. Sounds like she understands a little. Correct. What is that supposed to mean? You know majority. Are you guys German not loud enough? It's the quiet Germans you should be concerned about. Yeah, for sure. She needs to cut the middleman and just hop in the chair. You're right, John. I should just be done for the night. I'm kind of gassy anyway, so that'd be perfect. You guys need to drop to 0 and get with the hero. Darius, I read that as Italian has the best curves. I was like, hey, that escalated quickly. Pineapple, time to end the conversation. Let's move on. I share no opinions here. You like my little village? Thank you. What's the cages? Yeah, it's not a friendly village. It's not the nicest village. Hey, Sam, what's up? As someone who isn't bilingual, when you curse, is it better to curse in English or German? She tends to curse in English. A lot of Germans curse in English. We just have better curses. Unless she's actually really, really pissed off. Then it's just straight German. Like if she's driving. The Germans, the second they get in a car, they're just angry. I'm like, get it out. Get it out. Kind of true. Screaming the F word out loud is almost on top of the food chain in that regard. Also true about the cars. Yeah. Like, I laugh when I ride with Germans. I think it's because they repress a lot of their anger. And then they get in a car and it's like, okay, now it's time to go a little overboard. I can hear it. Also, if you want to hear Germans curse, if you're ever in Germany, you want to hear them curse, just stand in the bike lane whenever possible. Just stand in the bike lane, stand really close to the bike lane, look at them right in the eyes and like kind of tap your foot into the bike lane and bring it back just so they know that you know and you're screwing with them. That's all you have. If you want Germans to curse at you, you can do that all day. If you're looking for YouTube content or whatever, if you're a content creator, just bike lane. Yes, or ride the bike on the wrong side of the street. Better yet, one day I rode the bike on the wrong side of the street up the sidewalk and had a guy coming in the correct bike lane. Old guy just started yelling at me for no reason. I'm like, dude, there's nobody on the sidewalk. I'm half a block from home. He just was, I could tell it was real early. He was on his way to work. And I could tell he wanted to get it out before he went to work and then said nothing. So, yeah. Good stuff. Germany, if you're listening, you know I love you. I don't mean to pick on you. Don't F with the bike. No. Yeah, don't let Big Lebowski fool you. There aren't a lot of German nihilists. They do believe in stuff like bike lanes. How is Germany with speed laws outside Autobahn? Are there speed cameras everywhere? I think they have speed cameras. They take going the proper speed pretty seriously, but there's no like there's not like speed traps like police sitting there doing wacky, waiting. There are, yes, but the tickets are rather cheap compared to other countries. Yeah. And I don't think they have to really be expensive, Ishiwatari, right? Because like Germans take it serious. Ooh, but that's the speed limit. Well, no cop, no stop is not like a thing in Germany for a lot of people. They actually respect the law. I'm like, babe, no cop, no stop. Let's go. Come on. What are you doing here? We don't have all day. Driving school does that to you? Yeah, like, oh yeah, driving school is like a big deal here. It's expensive too. Couple grand. I'm not saying you do no cop, no stop in your driving exam, babe. Unless you're me. And after like 4 times of taking it, you learn that they don't have a sense of humor. I got my driver's license on the 5th attempt. Oh yeah, they don't walk on the red light. They don't jaywalk in Germany. I'm starting to see more people because, I mean, let's be real. German culture is degrading. It's starting to fall apart. No offense, not political, but like I'm starting to see more people walk on red. But typically, when I first got here, 2015, there was no jaywalking. I was once at a light at 2 a.m. on the way back from a company function. It was raining. I was drunk. We're in the middle of like a suburb somewhere. It's no people out. It was in the middle of nowhere. And two drunken, like 20-something-year-olds with like wine bottles came up on the other side of the road. There are no cars. It's 2 a.m. We're out in the middle of nowhere. And we both are standing, looking at each other in the rain, having a good time. I mean, we were all drunk, looking at each other, waiting for the little guy to turn green instead of red. And as soon as it turned green, we walked across the street, said hi to each other, and kept walking into the darkness because there was nobody there. That is, I respect that. That's civilization. That's peak civilization. Then we go to Sweden. And I mean, they might as well not even have the lights. Like, it's just more of a guideline, really. Yeah, they're just jaywalking everywhere or whatever. I'm like, this is not safe, everybody. It's so funny. It's just like, what are they doing? Oh, think of the children. Think of the children. I've actually heard an old lady yell that at an intersection in Hamburg, like in the red light district, basically near the red light district. We were a pile of people on one side, pile of people on the other side. It's like 2 in the afternoon. Everybody's already drunk. And a dude crosses the street and old lady yelled, old lady, she's probably 60, yelled at him for crossing on the red and yelled something about the children. And I was like, that is amazing. God bless this woman. The world needs more of you. So yeah. The wildest Japan. Red, no-go light, no cars in sight, everyone still waits. It's the same thing in a proper German city. Crime rate reflects that. You'll probably turn into that woman soon. Me too. Ishitari says, I feel called out right now. No, these are good things. After I lived in New York City, my brother wouldn't walk anywhere with me because he couldn't handle me playing Frogger anymore. Yeah, it's not good. It's not... That's bad for civilization. I'm like, no cop, no stop when driving, but crossing on red. But that was the... That was oh, there's an old joke like a, oh, what was it? It was like a George Carlin joke or something like that. I'm trying to remember. He was like in a limo with somebody and they were driving through every red light. Oh man, I can't remember the joke, but yeah. Yeah, I was in DC in the 90s and it was I went from living in Alabama to DC in the mid 90s. And the first time I actually like made eye contact with somebody and like said hello walking down the sidewalk, and they gave me like the classic sort of like DC Philly, like no bullshit. The guy looked at me and was like, I was like, you know, because you pass somebody on a sidewalk, you look at them in the eyes and you say hello or good day or whatever, right? Like Alabama. And the dude gave me one of those classic, like, city, East Coast. The fuck you looking at? I was like, I just kind of like kept walking a little stunned. I got the vapors. I was like, oh, clutch my pearls. Maybe this place is dangerous. Then I learned quickly, yes, it was dangerous. Don't talk to people, idiot. What am I looking for? Oh, that's what it was. Perfect. Firefly. Dude, I was hoping somebody would remember it. Was that a Carlin joke? I'm trying to remember. Drives through every red light, says my brother does it all the time, stops at a green. And the guy said, why did you stop? And he was like, my brother might be in town, or, what was it? Or, no, stops at a green. And a car goes by, and he goes, that's my brother, or my cousin, something like that. Yeah. I was able to see George Carlin right after I saw him live at like a casino in California, like an Indian casino in California, right after he got out of rehab. It was like right before he died. That I think it was like that year of or whatever. Because I could have sworn he like got out of rehab, or maybe I'm conflating the two things. Maybe he didn't die that immediately. Anyways. Got a chance to see him for my birthday a long time ago when I lived in California. It's pretty awesome. I always thought he was super cool because my dad's side of the family look a lot like George Carlin. Oh yeah, it's Carlin. Yep. Look for my brother drives like this. Nice. I'll look it up. I had to learn not to do the finger wave as you pass cars when I traveled to Alabama. Was that the sort of the acknowledgement? You saw Bobcat Goldthwait live. Oh man, that's a guy I haven't thought about in a long time. Oh yeah, the finger from the wheel. Okay. Yeah, but you're like acknowledging the guy, right? I always thought it was fun, like riding. There was a very brief period when I was in Texas where I had one of my dad's old Harleys. Go out riding and like you go by somebody else, you can give them the little low down hand wave, biker wave. That was fun. It was a really fun little Sportster. Felt legit. Kroll, remember that movie? Yeah, that was an interesting one. Very 80s. What settings do we do over there? 783. Cool. That's fine. Did you read Napalm and Silly Putty? I don't think I did. But that reminded me of a story I was just telling Jasmine about when we lived in Fort Campbell, Kentucky. I think I was like 11 or 12 years old. And I think I'd seen a movie where they used breaching charges. Because I became fixated with taking my Play-Doh and putting fireworks in it. And putting it on... We had this storage shed as part of our duplex on base. And I remember I had so much fun, like... putting Play-Doh on the lock there and putting a firework in it, lighting and running around the corner and having it go off, and then I'd come around the corner like I was going to breach the door. I feel bad that I checked out the scene and then wound up not really doing a lot of prop stuff. What I'll do is I'll finish up just kind of some of these guys right here, and then I'll hop in and run around, and we'll see how things are looking. Over here. Now we'll just put him back here. The Adventures of Baron Munchausen. Awesome movie. Terry Gilliam. I'd be curious. I've seen clips of it, but I haven't watched it in forever. When I was a kid, I watched that. Munchausen. Are you making fun of my pronunciation? What German pronunciation? Was? Munchausen? München? Yeah, but no American's gonna pronounce München. What's? It's that milk soft H bullshit. It's Munchausen. Come on, change your language. Get with the times. Legend might be your favorite 80s movie. Visual still great. We'll see if it holds up. I mean, it was Tim Curry was the devil in that, right? So naturally it's awesome. Tom Cruise. Baron Munchausen. I hate that sound. I'm so bad at it. Mich. Why are you hissing at me? Munchausen. Is that the one where Robin Williams is floating head? Baron Munchausen? Think so. Electric Dream. I had to have seen it. I think I've seen every movie from the 80s. Because that's how I was raised. My parents just dropped me. My parents just left me at home, as most Generation X kids. My parents just left me at home with huge stacks of questionably appropriate movies. Our squirrel is your Munchausen? Yeah, dude. Pronouncing milk, Munchausen, München, any of that stuff, that like weird... What? Hähnchen? Chicken, so Hähnchen? It's so hard for me to do, but like, yeah, anything with CH really sucks. But you guys, try, what's the plural of moth? Say moths. What's moth, Jasmine? Moth? 9? Squirrel? Okay, we're good then. Make fun of my milk and chicken. Moths. Moths. Squirrel. Squirrel. How do you say squirrel? Squirrel. Oh. Henshin. Had to practice until I could say squirrel without my tongue ending out to it. Dude,
Still can't.
She still can't, and I can't say milk. Moth. The only horror film we turned off. Oh, Faces of Death was not appropriate for teenagers. We wound up watching it. It was like, basically, it's just, we're so desensitized. It's just like, was a live leak? Live leak's a million times worse these days. We went from Faces of Death being horrible to like, was it Ogrish being a website, and I think everybody's just ruined from that point forward. Liz said, Electric Dreams. Miles wants to design an earthquake-proof brick, gets a computer, it comes to life. They both fall in love with Madeline, who lives upstairs, allegedly is a principal cellist, but plays like grade 1 tune, and stuff happens. The computer, Edgar, kills That sounds super familiar. Scarroll. Your phonetics are messing with me, Liz. Gen X kids were thrown to the wolves as kids. If we look back in time before, if we made it back home before dark, our parents knew we were okay. If not, took them a week to call the cops, let them know we were missing. Yeah, it was a different time. Weird Science, solid movie. Silly, but again, Bill Paxton. Jasmine found him annoying in Aliens. We watched Aliens the other day. She hadn't seen it before. She didn't like him. She said he cried too much. Didn't understand how he was a space marine. Game over, man. So she admits he's a good actor and played his role right. Yes, because he did exactly what he was intended to do. Dude, he's fantastic. Near Dark. I haven't watched that in forever. I hope it holds up. I would like to track it down so Jasmine and I can watch Near Dark, since it was a fairly unique vampire movie and another Bill Paxton movie. Not an 80s movie, but 80s vibe. Have you guys seen Midnight Express? Not the one where he goes to. Oh no, not Midnight Express. Sorry, Midnight Express is the Turkish prison one. That's a good one. That is an 80s movie. I need to watch that again. Midnight Special. It's a newer movie. Midnight Special. It's 78. I consider 78 the 80s. Misfits of Science and Dream Team were fun films. For some reason, I thought Misfits of Science was a TV show. Lost Boys, she's seen. Good. Midnight Special. Yes, that's the one. If you haven't watched it, don't read anything about it, just watch it. If you haven't seen Midnight Special, don't read anything about it, just watch it cold. You'll have a way more fun time with it. What about classic Earth Girls Are Easy? Awesome movie. Is it Jeff Goldblum? Yeah. And what's her face, who was in everything back then? Okay, relocating this to the bathtub. It's official bathtub stream. Get nice and comfortable, buddy. I'm not going to be on too much longer, but I'll be on long enough for you to plop into the tub. Young Einstein, Yahoo Serious. Seen both. I will admit it. Nicodemus says checks out if Jasmine's in the movie. I'm guessing she would have shot Paxton and left him for the aliens to eat. Give you guys a few more minutes to escape. No, she probably would have just like straightened him out. She would have been like, listen, you need to get your shit together. If you haven't seen the menu and know nothing about it and think it's just a movie, it's just about some foodies trying out food, watch it like me and my wife did. It sounds super familiar. Hawk the Slayer. It's a good reference. That's solid. Yeah, and Crawl. Lady Hawk. Very good movie. No. You guys mentioned something a few minutes ago and it made me think of another movie. Of course, Fright Night 2, 976 Evil. I don't remember exactly how bad Deathstalker was. Now The Last Starfighter is one that I do want to watch with her sometime soon. Escape from New York we watched together. I got the feeling she didn't fully appreciate it. Stand By Me, good one. Can't believe Sparrow's showing her kids Poltergeist though. Time Bandits, wonderful. It's right up there with Baron Munchausen. I constantly the phrase where when the like evil dudes are talking through his head, I've got an idea. Like I think that at least once a month. I've got an idea. The V series? Yeah, I wouldn't mind checking out the classic V series. Oh, you know what? I've got to watch in honor of my dad. I was thinking about it. Because there's a bunch of this stuff that he was really into, like shows and stuff wise too. I need to go back and rewatch in his honor all of Hill Street Blues. He loved that TV show. Love the escape movies. Wish there were more films like with Snake Plissken. I can't believe they haven't done more new ones with him. That seems like an easy one to do new ones, right? Like, why not do 3 or 4 more? I think he's still got it. He's still healthy enough for it. There's a new show of Time Bandits now. I haven't gotten into it. Are they all like just normal size and women? Is it on Amazon? Is it the Netflix version of Time Bandits? Sorry, it's late. That slipped out. I'm not supposed to say that out loud. Anybody mention Big Trouble in Little China yet? Somebody did earlier, but I missed it. And yes, and awesome. Would love to see a Metal Gear game where Kurt Russell plays Snake. That would be pretty solid. That was intentional. It really was. One of our dinosaurs is missing. Am I the only one that thought Snake was Kurt Russell? I could have sworn. I could have sworn there was something out there that made everybody think that at some point. Like a marketing piece or something. Rock wants to do Big Trouble movie. It's supposed to be a continuation. I hope it never makes it. I hope so too, man. Like some of that shit, I'm just like, leave it alone, please. We were trying to watch Red Dawn the other day, like a couple months ago, I think, and Jasmine thought she had ordered the old one, and it wound up being the new one. And it was like, it wasn't horrible, but it was so obviously modern compared. It wasn't horrible though, but it wasn't Red Dawn. Yeah, so we actually bought the DVD of Aliens, Alien and Aliens. And opened it because we got it during the closing of the DVD rental place. And opened it and it was Twilight. So somebody out there bought Twilight hoping to, I guess, get their Twilight on and wound up getting Alien instead. Warriors, solid movie, yes. Fast Times at Ridgemont High. All of us young men from that era can appreciate that movie. Hunt for Red October is good. Anything with Sean Connery is good. Literally anything. Hill Street Blues, yes. Space Mutiny. Let me take a look. Oh, that shit looks wonderful. Nice, Delos. BB Cates, yes. I think after Fast Times we all grew to appreciate BB Cates. No Way Out was, I can imagine that being good. Oh, The Burbs, excellent reference. That's one that I don't think she's seen that we gotta watch. There was another one that No Way Out made me think of Inner Space for some reason. There's a new Western. There's a new Western that I want to check out that I think is it Costner? Yeah, Horizon. Looks solid. Full Metal Jacket, Liz asked. Jasmine is a big Full Metal Jacket fan. She's a big fan of that movie. I went shooting with her last the Monday before my father passed. Went to the range with her. And I gotta say, I got some catching up to do. Horizon's 2 parts. Second part comes out late this month or next. I'll have to look. Is it streamable yet? Yes, the honey I Shrunk and Blew Up the Kids is awesome. Coming to America is awesome. Trading Places we watched like last year. I love it. Beverly Hills Cop we watched last year. Fistful of Dollars. Yeah, there's definitely some like Clint Eastwood, some westerns and shit that I want to watch with her. Beetlejuice, we do need to rewatch before the second one comes out. I have that Turkish Olympics guy train you. Yeah, dude, he's. I love the memes about him. I was showing Jasmine the memes about him this morning, actually, before she went to work. Dude. But yeah, she's solid. Like, we are shooting a 25-meter target, and her shot grouping's consistent, like, nice. Unfortunately, once I got probably about 20 rounds in, I was like, all right. Started to remember how guns worked. It was like getting some. It was a nice mix of like nice grouping and random. Obviously, I'm like anticipating recoil or something, and it was because it was always like bottom right, bottom right, bottom right. So, looking forward to getting in and shooting some more. It'll be nice. That was only my second time in last couple of years, so. But I'm like real competitive with her, so I was immediately like, all right, babe, we gotta come back immediately. I'm like dry firing my little airsoft. We've got the same guns that she uses there in airsoft version, so we can dry fire here legally. Nerds. Regards. House of Dragon has been really good. This season we started it, and I just kind of feel like it's a little. We watched the first season. I really liked it. This season, I'm kind of. Nah. I mean, we'll finish it. It's a little. I really, really, really don't like I don't like the white worm chick or whatever her name is, like, as a character. It's just it's yeah, I don't know, man. It's all right. It'll be okay. You're excited for Rings of Power Season 2? Well, I'm glad somebody's excited for it, D-Love Splitting. Ninja in Geheime Mission. I don't know the English title came out. Unfortunately, it came out in 1984, one of my favorite trash movies. Ninja is a part of, I think there's like a 3 ninja movie series. I will say I did like, there was the whole dragon fight thing. I'm not going to spoil it for anybody. There was the dragon fight thing. It had a predictable resolution with the one character. If you've seen it, you know who I'm talking about. Like, we knew that was going to happen, but I didn't see the other thing happen, and I haven't watched the episode after that one. So I don't know if the thing that they're making it seem like actually happened, but if it did, then that's a nice twist. I mean, the thing that I liked about the Game of Thrones shows was just, in the books, was just the brutality of it. Like, they killed people off. You're like, hey, I really like these guys. This is going to be a nice wedding. Is American Ninja the one that has the line, only a ninja can kill a ninja? If it doesn't, it should have. Zukin says, seeing posts about the new Deadpool not being so good, anyone have a take on it? I've seen that, I've seen a thorough review that says it was thoroughly okay. Could have been better. Definitely could have been worse, given that it's part of the current era of MCU. But I think it may just be different strokes for different folks. It may be one of those things where, like, if you like any of the more recent Star Wars stuff, then maybe you don't like Deadpool. But if you don't like the more recent Star Wars stuff, you do like Deadpool. I don't know. It's also bifurcated at this point. Andor season 2. Which is Andor? I've stopped keeping up with anything Star Wars, to be honest. Nick said I liked it a lot as a not so big Marvel fan. Deadpool? Yeah, I mean, what I saw of it in the review was it looked fun. Both of those guys are awesome as well. A lot of the little memes and references and stuff was cool. Andor, I think Andor is the one that was the only good one. And Mandalorian season up until they kicked off, until they fired my girl. Yeah, I didn't watch Mandalorian either, though. I think I saw like 1 episode or 2 episodes or something. I was like, okay, this is fine. I heard Andor was good, though. Watching House of Dragon and thinking to myself, the guy wearing the patch. Why haven't they made a Dritz movie with this guy yet? Dude looks the part. Yeah, I actually like him as a character. Like I said, I really liked season 1. No bullshit. I like season 1 a ton. Just something about season 2 so far, I've kind of been like, it's a little meh. McCham said, watched it on Premiere. It wasn't a bad movie. Epic action. Sound of Dolby Atmos was incredible. Comedy was new and edgy. Doesn't fit the tone of classic Marvel movies that released before it. Yeah, it seemed good. As a former diehard comic collector of anything Deadpool, I'm looking forward to the new movie. At least they try to do justice in his movies. Maybe I have to sit down and watch the Deadpool movies with Jasmine at some point. Maybe after that one's out and available. Because I think I've seen one. And it was enjoyable. All right, so all this here. And Control S. Yeah, I was a comics fan when I was like a tiny kid, because there was always comic books at the barracks and stuff. When my dad would like bring me up and drop me off at the barracks to hang out for the day when he worked. So I really loved comics back then. As I got older, I wasn't really that into comics, but always thought, hey, you know, if you had to ask, I was probably more of a Marvel fan than I was like DC. But then when I joined DCUO and got introduced to the DC universe and read a lot of the DC comics, I really like started appreciating really enjoyed DC comics a lot, because I always thought like Marvel was edgier and cooler and newer, but then I realized like what DC was doing with a lot of its comics, and I was like, oh shit, this stuff's really good. And then just enjoyed comics in general, but then after DCUO, my brain was so melted from the project that I just kind of got out of it. I think when I got divorced, I think I even left all my comics at the house. I was like, here, it's cool to read comics and stuff now, so you can have all my comics, and it's cool to play Magic the Gathering now, so you can have all my Magic cards. But when I worked on DC, I had so many comics, dude. When I worked on DC. Or is that true? Actually, no. Maybe I did get my comics. I think they might be in storage. Or I threw them away or sold them. I don't know, man. Anyways. Yeah, I used to get... when I worked on DC Universe, every month, DC Comics would send us... Like, because I was content lead. So I got my own box of everything that DC and when Wildstorm was around and Vertigo and whatever else published that month. I got a box with one of everything in it. Trades, old classic, big thick ass books, all that stuff. It was super cool. Built up a pretty big collection during that period. Too bad Warner Brothers owns DC. You can say that. It's true, Nick. You are allowed to. Having interacted with Warner Brothers, I can say that as well. They honestly, they weren't that hard to work with on DC. D said, I think House of Dragon Season 2 was super slow, like they were trying to get through the material. Basically, just a lot of people sitting around debating on what to do for the most of the season so far, then okay, action, then more waiting. Yeah, and it's just... We'll see. I haven't written it off at all. It's still decent. Still has its moments. Oh, McChamp says, Robot, so I quit my job as a project manager at the Fortune 500 company. After 4 months, I was transferred to a new team, and the leadership were in their role only because they were at the company for 5 to 10 years. No leadership skills, set me up for failure with clients multiple times. Not sure if I should have stuck it out for longer, or if I made the right decision. What do you think from a leadership perspective? What do I think about all this happened this morning? Well, first of all, I hope you are able to chill out a little bit this weekend and just sort of like turn your brain off, because I know it's probably that's a big deal. I've quit some jobs where I just walked out before. So I don't want to be a hypocrite in saying this, but I really typically recommend that people find a new job before they bounce. But if you're in a position where you're able to do that, then power to you. I would say what is your question, McChamp? When you say, what do I think from a leadership perspective? What do I think about the people being in their roles because of just out of seniority? I don't know enough about the job or the situation to say much. Hey, Sarant. This says, it's always hard when a person is made manager just because they're there longer than you or others, not trained, help become a manager and left to fester and stuff. G. Wilker says, went back to playing a classic WoW private server after last playtest. It just doesn't scratch the itch the way Eminem does. That's cool to hear. Can't wait for the next playtest. Right on. You're venting. Venting is fine, man. Venting's good. I mean, can I ask, at what point, like, how far into your career are you? So you've been at this company for 4 months and discovered that it's not a company that you're into. That's the way I read it, right? Because it could be that there's an awesome company that's got poor leadership within it, or is set up improperly or whatever. But like, if just off the cuff at 11 o'clock at night my time, if I had to guess, if you've been at the company for 4 months, or been in that department, or been in the role and been exposed to this new group of people for 4 months, and you realize like these guys are just kind of jacked up, then the then what it is it's probably you're realizing I'm not at the right place, right? Now, what they have may work for them. What you identify as like incompetence or poor leadership, or they're only in their role because of seniority, but they kind of suck or whatever. That may be true, but it also may just be your perspective, right? Like, it may be your take on it. Not saying that you're wrong, but saying that what they have may work for them, but what they have may also indicate that it's a company that you don't want to be at, right? Like, I've seen teams where the team was solid for what they did, right? Like, and if you ask me how I felt about like their leadership, their culture, their approach, whatever, I would say it sucked. But it's just because it's not what I was into, and so, but it worked for them. Doesn't mean that my opinion's wrong or that I suck, and it doesn't mean that they sucked. Yeah, 100% worked well for the team. Yeah, right. Like, there are some environments where I've dealt with some companies, in passing, like pitching stuff to other companies. I will say, like, I don't know that all of Microsoft's like this, but I went through a pitch process, green light process with Microsoft when I was at another company briefly, and I was there to kind of pitch an idea to them. And I think everybody there was highly competent, probably some of the smarter people I've met, right? Like, they're very solid, but personality wise, it was just like, it was a culture that I wouldn't want to deal with ever. Like, I wouldn't feel comfortable around them ever. It's just like this weird super alpha vibe. And I get that. And the thing is, like, if they're good enough to live up to their attitude, fuck yeah, perfect, awesome. That said, I think if a company has got that kind of attitude, they need to, the team or whatever, and I don't know specifically which team they're from at that company, but they've got to be able to like show, all right, constant delivery, right? So, and it's just some of these environments where people, like, one of the things that it bugs me, and this is a failing on my part, is like when I deal with people and they're like, they try to super alpha with me, because I'm fairly laid back. But when somebody like tries to like really get super alpha with me, then I immediately think, would I be able to choke the shit out of this guy, right? Like, because when you're just like talking with that kind of like, I'm super competitive, I'll show you kind of thing, I'm like, I don't know, man. I'm thinking I might ragdoll you. And I'm not saying like I'm a big guy or anything like that, but like, I've been around the reality of violence long enough in my life that I just sometimes I look at it and I go, come on, man, you can't chill a little, like a little bit, you know? And so that's one of the things I have a problem with sometimes, because I don't want to get in this like game of like petty one-upsmanship and shit like that. Like, it's just, I've known some really interesting, gnarly people in my day, and they were the nicest, most laid back people. And uh, you know, these are people with like body counts higher than your average TikTok influencer. You know, it's just like, and they didn't have to flex, they didn't have to show it. And so when I get in these environments where it's like encouraged, this kind of like corporate, a future corporate shark environment, and I'm just like, especially then when you actually get to know them, you work with them or whatever, and you're like, you're good at flexing, but you're not the smartest person I've ever worked with. You're not necessarily, you know what I mean? Like your decision making's not tight. You're not a leader of men. You're not somebody that I think would take one for the team. You're not somebody, right? Like, so your ethics or morals or whatever, just kind of like, you know, like, give that radio a torch. You can't see. Yeah, we'll see. They're rats, man. They got good sniffers. They're sniffing around. You're so nice, Sean. Just thinking about choking them out and not punching them in the face. Punching someone in the face is actually not the cool move. Grabbing somebody and like getting them in a nice like rear naked choke or something and feeling them go limp and then like letting go a little bit so they pop back awake and then you make them go limp again. That is so much more satisfying. Like getting somebody in solid side control or a mount and just no matter what size they are, they're not able to get out from under you is so much more satisfying than hitting somebody. What? That's not graphic. That's not graphic. That's not graphic. Is that graphic? That's not graphic. It's jujitsu. It's a sport. It's not even, I'm not even talking about real violence. I was at the company at another team for 2 years working with some great leaders, but now then I joined a project management office that was run by a bunch of people there, tenure with no leadership training skills. I mean, leadership is definitely its own thing. D said, sounds like the Fortune 500 company has reached maturity and it's about incremental growth now. Need steady, long in the tooth structured people for that, not ambitious out of the box thinkers. Yeah, finding the right fit in terms of what you're into in that regard as well is a big deal. It's my experience that most bad leaders hire people who are non-threats to their ego or dominance. If you shine beyond them, they tend to push you back down. Yeah. It may not even just be a bad leader thing. Just sometimes people can get in positions where they feel insecure, right? It may be somebody is a decent leader, but then they're worried because of the culture, or they feel like, oh shit, like all of a sudden their job feels threatened or whatever. I've been there for sure. I've done that. I've gotten into the funk where I'm like, oh, what's going to happen to me? We're hiring all these really smart people. Zukin said, you could ragdoll me. No need to test. Thanks. One day we'll hang out and promise there will be no wrestling unless you want to. Want to make someone go limp. Also, it's not real. Sean, did you ever actually choke anyone out that you worked with? I did not choke out anyone I worked with. I did choke out a guy who was about to assault some female security guards at the place that I lived when I was in Texas. That's what I was thinking of when I was thinking about choking, going limp, letting him come back until security got there. That was something. But I did almost break the arm of, and I'm not saying this with too much pride, but kind of a little bit pride. I'm not going to lie to you. I did almost break the arm of an artist that I worked with when I was in Austin. Because he was kind of a, you know, he's a character artist. And I've noticed that a number of character artists, I'm fairly certain he's a character artist, but I've noticed a number of character artists are actually fit in the art industry for some reason. But he was kind of like a kind of a really in shape dude, and he found out that I was training jujitsu, and so he was always talking about how he used to train jujitsu. Yeah, man, I used to do that. Yeah, you know, like nice guy after the fact, but he was like, he was always talking about at work, and so I had a big like, I don't know, like I would have pretty big parties at my house in Austin, like, you know, tons of people, just because I had property and we could shoot fireworks all night and shit like that. And so it was either 4th of July or like a New Year's Eve party. He was there with his girlfriend. There was still a bunch of people there, and he was shit faced, and he did that thing that people do that when they get drunk, they kind of like, he started like sort of like poking like he wanted to wrestle. I'm like, oh no, it's fine, you know, like it's cool, like stop, kind of thing. And then at some point, he tackles me. He just tackles me. And you know, there's people in the living room, and we're going in and out of the front door and stuff. He tackles me, and I'm able to basically just shrimp out real quick, and I get back to my feet. I'm like, okay, that was fun. And you know, blah blah blah. And then he tackles me. He goes to tackle me again because he won't stop. I'm like, hey, chill. And my girlfriend or fiance or wife, I don't know what state we were in at the time, had come in to kind of see, and people were kind of coming in to see what the commotion was about. He came in and he headbutted me in the nose, like on accident, but he was like coming in too aggressively. And he headbutted me in the nose and was still kind of like trying to grapple me, and I'm holding him, you know, basically not letting him take me down. And I look, and it's the old carpet that came with the house anyways, but it was like this white carpet. I look down and there's just blood pouring all over the carpet. I look down just like, and we were wanting to remove it anyways. We wound up finding really nice stained concrete floors underneath. And so I look down and I'm just bleeding everywhere. And I just basically like stopped trying to like fight off. Like, oh, I remember I made eye contact with my girlfriend or wife or whatever, looked at her and kind of like did the face like, and she just kind of looked at me and nodded like, you know, kind of, and so I just let it drop to the ground, immediately swept him and armbarred him. Like I just armbarred him. And I wasn't thinking, this guy's drunk. And, you know, Ishiwatari, you're saying casually joking about stopping people's blood flow. Well, if you know what you're doing and you do it in a controlled manner, it's actually relatively safe, right? But an armbar, he was drunk, so he wasn't tapping. And I wasn't going to let go of him until he like stopped. And so I armbarred the shit out of him. And he's not tapping. He tries to bite my calf. That's what it was. He tries to bite my calf, and I get super pissed and just crank it. And when I crank it, he then immediately like sobers up and is like tapping. So yeah, his girlfriend super bummed, super embarrassed. Like he got up. Everybody's a little bit quiet, you know, like it got awkward. Parties kind of continue and stuff. Got up, everything, cleaned up my nose and stuff, and they left. And yeah, he was like nursing that arm for, I don't know, 4 or 5 weeks. I honestly, it was really lucky that it didn't get damaged worse. But yeah, that was fun. And then we were at another party sometime after that, a pool party, and my boss and one of my friends who trained with me, one of the other designers, both run up and grab me. And during this period, I didn't drink. Like, I didn't drink for 2 years during this period. So I was sober when that happened. They grabbed me and went to throw me into the pool. And when the one guy, the designer, grabbed me, he grabbed my leg and just happened to do so in a way where I was able to really quickly spin into a triangle choke. And I just sank the choke as hard as I could, as fast as I could. And he went limp. And so we like let it up real quick and shit, and it was just like, and both of them were, all of a sudden it was like awkward and, man, we were just playing. I'm like, I don't. Okay, well, so was I. So yeah, those are my humble brags, but yeah. Every once in a while, that was the only thing that happened with work dudes that I can remember. The artist and designer, typically pretty chill, but as Jasmine can attest, if we're ever out somewhere and something gets weird, like it'll eventually probably come back to haunt me, but like she knows now if there's a commotion, I'm usually like, I'm like a fucking meerkat. I pop up out of the sand. I'm looking like, oh, is somebody getting a fight? And I just run right into it every single time. So it'll probably eventually catch up with me, but so far it's been funny. I mean, except for the whole, but in that case, I do blame poor judgment related to alcohol with the broken hand and missing finger. So yeah. Hey, on that note, it's Friday night, guys. 11:26. It is about time for me to wrap it up. Time set 8 a.m. This cracks you up. What I'm here for. As my dad used to tell the story, he got me in my first bar fight at like age 5. I got to sit on a pool table while there was a bar fight around me. And it's been fun ever since. Best thing to do these days is leave it if you can in a public place. Never know. If it looks like the parties involved are safe and no one's being victimized, then yeah, I definitely will back out and not get ourselves in trouble. But if I ever feel like someone's being put in a bad position or whatever, I feel obligated to put my safety on the line in order to ensure that someone isn't needlessly victimized. And if that eventually gets me in a bad state, then so be it. But I'm not a big fan of the yeah, people are very stabby these days. Yeah, especially in Europe. I'm aware of it. I mean, I might sound like a dummy, but I think I mentioned this on a stream a few weeks ago. Like, the old lady fell down when I was coming out of the grocery store. The lady was bleeding out of her nose and forehead where she fell, and she was on blood thinners. And my backpack, I carry, and this will sound goofy or whatever, but my backpack that I almost always have with me has got 3 tourniquets, tons of bandages and gauze, the usual sort of things there for like not really an IFAK, but close enough. And then and it's got a level 3 stab proof, bulletproof soft armor plate in it. So I hate the idea of dealing with knives. Knives are crazy and suck. But again, if somebody's being victimized, I'd rather take my chances with like a strap it to my front and go, or use that as a little bit of a shield and see what I can do. But I'm not gonna stand there and be like these assholes that are filming and stuff like that. I'm just not gonna do it. I don't know. There's always that concern, right? Like in airborne school, you don't want to be the guy that freezes up in the door. So who knows? It could be a situation where, like, if I saw that, and somebody had a knife or whatever, maybe I'd freeze up. But I would love to think that wouldn't be the case. I'd feel really, I don't know if I'd be able to live with myself if I saw something going down like that and I didn't interject. And again, yeah. So But based on habit in the past, I think I've been pretty good at like getting into autopilot and just kind of like getting shit done. But again, I haven't been faced with like someone that's actually stabbing somebody or whatever. So yeah, hopefully I never see it, because it is never happening around me and no one's getting hurt and life is awesome. So hopefully that winds up being the case. But if Jasmine ever logs into Discord one day and lets you know that it didn't work out for me, then you'll know. So hopefully that doesn't happen. But like I said, I think more people need to stand up for what's right these days. You know, and hey, in a situation where if you can avoid it and be safe, then I think people should do that. But in situations where somebody that you could help is being victimized, then I mean, that's everybody's got to make their own decisions, but I would not feel comfortable with myself if I didn't try to interject in some way or another. So yeah, on that note, on my fake superhero humble brag note, I think I'm going to wrap up for tonight. It's 11:30. It's been a nice stream coming back to hang out with you guys. Thanks again for all of your kind words and then everything. I really appreciate it. Nicodemus says I wore a 4-in-1 chainmail shirt under my shirt when I was a bouncer in the early days. Yeah, I do kind of like the idea of the various like stab-proof hoodies and stuff that are out there. It's good stuff. Hey Grumpy, I'm just gonna wrap up for tonight. Check out the VOD if you want. Sorry that I'm hopping out now. Hey, thanks, Sarenth. Later, Darius. McChamp. See ya. Good luck with everything. I know it's probably a little bit stressful on your end. Let us know how it's going. Chudster, see ya. Grumpy, bye-bye. Aloth, good night to you as well. Excuse me. Have a good weekend yourself, Liz. Hopefully you're not too stressed out. You know we're here for you if you need us. Inferish, see you. Hey, thank you, Grumpy. Night Zukin, Firefly, good night. Matthias. You have a good one as well. Later, Callum. Later, Nick. Later, Bill. Kegborn. Yep, I'm looking forward to the next test as well. I think the whole team is, so can't wait to get you guys back in here. See you, John. Talet, you're very welcome. Isan, see you, brother. John Rick. Have a good one. Bye, Dragon. John, I've run into that as well when I was working security at the club. I once grabbed a guy because I was like, stop beating them up. And then I grabbed a guy and they ran. And he said, they took my wallet. And then we had to chase them. So it happens. Got to play it by ear, man. You know what I mean. You know my intent. Later, D. I'll follow up with you. All right, guys. Anybody that didn't say goodnight, have a great night. Have a great weekend. I will see you next week. I will be back Wednesday unless something weird pops up. Once I understand what our actual travel plans are going to be for the funeral, then I'll let you guys know. I'll probably be out that week or whatever. Ishiwatari, vielen Dank. Yep. All right, guys. Again, thanks for being there. Thank you for all the kind words. I hope everybody has a wonderful weekend. Yeah, you guys are family too. I will see you on Wednesday. pushing a button now. Goodbye.